Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm George. This is going to be part 2 of STAV'S half-mile race prep for his B5 VR6 A4. Really excited as his turbo also arrived from XONA ROTOR. So his 10569S arrived. It's going to be his new turbo setup, aka the 1100 kit. And kind of cool to see that it still has a small silhouette like his precision turbo, and it still packs a hell of a punch. There's a lot of cars out there making some serious power on this turbo. So big thanks to Anthony over at Pick Pros and XONA ROTOR for getting this over as fast as they can so we can get this together for the half mile, which is kind of cool. As you guys know, we yanked the motor due to one minor instance of an oil leak, and we had an oil leak on the timing cover, which is on the back side of the motor, and there's nothing you can do. The motor has to come out. The timing cover essentially has to come off. And then once we were taking them off, we actually discovered, well, I mean, it's been previously repaired. So it's had some abuse, but we also found that portion of it was cracked. So we don't know if it's actually warped because of the weld repair that it was done before, but she keeps seeping oil. So we ordered a new rear main seal. Stav was able to get another used rear timing cover. So we're going to remove this rear main seal from here and then pop in a new one, reinstall it, get that backside sealed up, and then we're gonna mate my transmission. That's actually, so Stav's getting a couple things from the 24 valve. My transmission is just sitting on a dolly underneath the car. So he blew his trans, as we were kind of talking about it. This thing is done. The 1.2 is completely shot. So he's gonna borrow the TDI 6-speed that I have in my B5 S4. And then what else is he borrowing? What else is he borrowing? Oh, and we're also going to give him, and this is on loan only, so this way he could use it. So instead of using his standard twin, he's going to be using the twin carbon setup that I had in my B5 S4. As you guys know, the carbon setup can hold well over 1,300 horsepower. The guys at USP MotorSports, they used it for so many years going down the drag strip at like 8.5, 8.6 in the quarter. So Stav has a standard twin on the clutch, and he's pushing the car more and more and more. And now with the new XONA ROTOR 1100, aka 10569S, he's going to want to push it a little bit harder. So instead of risking it and maybe having the chance of overspinning his sintered iron twin clutch, we're just going to throw in my carbons, as we know those holds a ton of power. And also the drivability on the carbons are absolutely amazing. So if any of you ever own the carbon clutch or know anyone that has, they'll tell you firsthand it drives like a stock clutch. Problem is, like we've mentioned in so many videos here, you can't put that many miles on them. They're not meant for daily driving. So they recommend anywhere between 4,000 to like 6,000 miles and then shim them. I think I ended up putting like almost 9,000 miles on my car, and then they started slipping. So for this race event, it should be perfect. We'll throw it on Stav's car, let him go race, and give him the best chance to be successful so this we can go at least as fast as he can in the half mile with this car and have some fun. It's going to be his first competitive event with this B5, so I'm really excited. It's a lot of upgrades, a lot of updates. He's going to be running the 034 wheels. A lot of things are going to be coming. We're going to showcase it as we progress on this episode. But I got to get the timing covers back on. I got to mount the turbo. Made it to my TDI 6-speed trans, and then we got to get it in Stav's engine bay. So that's all going to happen in this episode. So without further ado, guys, let's get Stav's car back together, breathing fire, making some power, and going fast as possible, I guess. Anyway, again, if you're just joining us for the first time, I'm George. This is Malaka MotorSports. We do stupid things. We're older Audis and some of the newer Audis too. And now we're trying to do stupid things with this VRT-powered Audi A4 B5 in the half mile. Let's just kick this off. All right, use my little shop press that I had that I got from Harbor Freight. We took out the old rear main seal that came on the new timing cover. Again, this is the one we're discarding. Installed brand new seal, box that came in from FCP Euro with a bunch of supplies, so we were able to kind of replace it. I'm going to clean the surface here with a small little kind of rotary bit that I have. It's non-abrasive, just a little rubber pad, just to kind of clean it up. And then I'll wipe with alcohol, and then we'll start installing timing covers. So we got the rear timing cover on, which is pretty cool. You know, suffice it to say, this is a pretty easy job. We had to pop off the only oil pan to get the timing cover back on, but she's on. I think I used enough silicone to reseal the Titanic gray RTV, so it's going to be a pain to take off, but we should have a really good seal and hopefully no more little tiny oil leaks. You know, Stav's always been battling this slow dripping oil leak coming from somewhere. Now we actually replaced the timing cover. No damage this time installing the fastener, so I think it was one of us that probably installed too long of a fastener here on the bottom, ended up cracking this on the old one. But the new rear main seal is on. Again, ton of RTV, timing covers on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this RTV set up for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to install the adapter plate, the flywheel, the carbon clutch, align the carbon clutch. And then I'm going to mate the 24 valve VR6 01E 6-speed my transmission for my B5 S4 on STAV'S 12 valve. So he has a transmission ready to go for the half mile. And we're going to be installing, again, the carbon clutches. So we're going to be doing that here with you guys, showcasing the install, and then getting this thing inside the engine bay for STAV'S B5 and getting this thing fired up. So we're getting there, guys. Getting there slow by slow. But in this episode, we will have this thing in. We will have it firing. All in all, with STAV'S brand new ZONA rotor 105/69S turbo that came in. So we're going to have that going too. So onward and upward. Let's keep going. Let's get this bad boy together. Actually, I'm going to use some RS3 parts. So these are some parts that I picked up for the turbo setup on the VR6 for the RS3. What they do is it's a extended from ATP turbo, and I'll put a link in the description. And what they do is, you see how long they are? And it's also an Allen head. So now what I'm going to do, so I'll install the copper. What this is going to do is, now STAV'S going to be able to run the coolant lines through the bottom side of this. So cool thing is we get to use this for STAV'S car now in a pinch. And again, all the crap we usually talk about each other and the shit we give each other for the different motor setups, you know, again, at the end of the day, we support each other and help each other out. So if I have the parts and I'm not using it, obviously we're going to throw it on STAV'S car to help him get his car together. So now you have these extended banjo fittings on either side, so you don't have to deal with an AN so close to the back of the cartridge. Now it's extended out. So once the exhaust housing is on, it's going to clear all that. And now you just have to install the two AN fittings. I believe these are 6s. And they're very easy to get to towards the end of this compressor housing. So just one of the things, you know, we're working on and kind of, again, helping each other out on. And I've never really used these extended lines. These would have came in real good handy when doing the turbo setup on my B5. But now that we know about these, they're a little pricier, about $28 for the kit. And they come with the low profile bolt that's another $3. But for $28, you get a really nice clean setup. Makes it really easy to work on and service. So we got the adapter plate pretty much installed. It's going to be 3 bolts to the side with the dowel pin. And then one major one that's going to be on the right going through the block, the transmission, and the adapter plate. So a total of 4 giant bolts that are basically bolting here on the main adapter plate. And then up here on the corner for stability, we're going to run a bolt through with a nut on the back side. So a ton of bolts are going to go through for the adapter plate, which I'm really happy about. Before we're mating the transmission, we're doing the coolant lines real quick. We added 2 new coolant lines because the ZONA rotor is actually coolant and oil cooled. Instead of actually using hose clamps, we doubled up on these kind of crimp clamps that basically just slide over the hose tube, whatever, and then just crimp down, and you don't have to worry about them coming loose. So doubled up on them, one on the block, one on the actual crack pipe, coolant pipe going to the water pump. And then Stav went and grabbed these really nice lines for himself. So you got these coolant lines, 6 AM, look really beautiful. He had them made down below, and they look really, really nice. So I like them. And then new oil return too. So it's actually kind of clean. So brand new lines all around. I'm actually really happy for them. So we're gonna continue putting this bad boy together. Bolt on the CHRA, install it fully, then put in the oil, all the fittings and stuff, and then we'll mate the transmission as soon as I power wash this sucker. So it needs to be power washed and cleaned, and then we can mate it. But this thing is damn near almost ready to go back in. I'm really excited. So we got the engine in the bay. Again, 6-speed TDI transmission after we power wash it's installed. We just literally dropped it in, so everything looks like it's just friggin' everywhere. But STAV'S B5 is coming together with the new ZONA rotor. 105/69S.
I like how we power wash the trans, but it's going back to a dirty ass bay.
Well, I mean, listen, hey, now it shows more silver, so now everyone's gonna know that silver's would get.
We gotta hide underneath the car. That's what we gotta do.
Well, it's the heart of the car. Silver's the heart of the car, which it's gonna get it going.
That ZONA is the heart of the car.
Yeah, that's a nice. What are they? What's the model?
105/69S.
And what's the power rating on that?
Well, we're gonna probably take down the power a little bit because it's rated to like 1150 crank. So, I mean, we're going to take it down from the 3000 wheel that we were running before.
Right. All right, so we got it in the bay. Again, during this video, we're going to have this firing up and moving. But she's in, and we're going to start buttoning everything. Drive shaft, axles, start getting all the wires. That's going to be Stav's territory to kind of get all those connectors and everything done, because I don't mess with that stuff. But I'll start doing the little routes and making sure everything's correct. Again, we've upgraded a lot, like we were talking about with the new XONA. So we got brand new 6AN lines now for the coolant lines. And then we're reusing the iBed oil feed line that's going to go right into the turbo itself. But we've added 2 coolant lines now that the XONA rotor itself is coolant cooled. The Precision before was just oil cooled. So
and of course, people are going to mention that, you know, why you're going to run this coolant line over a hot exhaust manifold. What are we going to put here, George?
Oh, we're going to put a silver turbo blanket.
We don't. We have a black turbo blanket. We have
the black turbo blanket's a little too big, but I have a spare turbo blanket that we're going to throw on here. And the kind of cool thing is what we were talking about before about reusing some parts. So you see how the AN fittings on these banjos are all the way up here and easily accessible? Again, I'll put a screenshot of the post, but here, maybe I can zoom in. But they're extensions for those banjos, and it comes all the way out, and now everything hooks up right here. That's a nice piece. It makes it so easy. And then I'll put the link for those parts from ATP. Again, those I bought originally for the RS3, so we're using them on Stav's car, and then Stav just picked me up replacements that should be in a couple days.
I mean, I ordered them slow shipping because obviously your car's not going to be running this week. Or anytime in this month.
All right, so let's continue on. We're going to button up Stav's car, get it out of the garage, so we can finally get rid of the 12-valve stuff. And then also taking off these wheels, Stav. I don't want to tease what wheels we're going to be throwing on, but it's going to be a surprise once you guys see it on its feet. Stav's car is also getting some, I mean, you got RS3 turbo fittings already, right? At the banjos. You got the 24-valve VR6 transmission. Well, I mean, now you're getting RS3 wheels.
Transmission. It's literally a B5 transmission. I mean,
no. It's a 24-valve VR6 transmission.
So what happens is the 24-valve couldn't spin the transmission on the input shaft, so it needs something with a lot of torque. 12-valve.
We're gonna take parts from 3 cars and try to make one. We're gonna continue on.
This is true. This is actually true.
Holy shit! Is this thing running? Alright guys, there's an update. What's up, Stav?
What's going on, man?
So we got Stav's new XONA rotor 10569S in. We got the TDI trans from the silver car in, carbon clutches. Car is purring like a kitten, 2150cc injectors. We ended up installing the new coolant lines in, so you kind of see how we did that here. But she's looking real good. We don't have any of the wastegate lines hooked up, and you can't really do a pull yet.
Correct. We're just basically doing drive around, make sure that, you know, no oil leaks, nothing catches fire, because my car is notorious for that.
But so far, no leaks. Everything's looking pretty good. And then we're going to take a couple logs for the tuner so we can get Stav making some jam with his new turbo. So I'm actually pretty excited for that too. Other than that, guys, I mean, it came out really nice. The engine bay looks good.
The fender roll, because before we rolled off the fenders to make the car, the wheels fit.
So we'll put his Instagram in the video description. So we had someone come out here in local, that's the AV, and roll Stav's fenders. These are actually the RS3 ZTF wheels, 9.3 inches wide. We used what, 12 mil?
12, yeah, H&R 12 millimeter spacers. Correct.
All right, cool. So H&R 12 mil spacers, and look, they actually look a lot better on your car than they did on mine.
I mean, that's not. I didn't want to say it, Joey, but since you said it, I agree.
But they look great, though. Naturally, 034 offers these in 8.5 inches wide, but instead of buying another set of wheels, we actually had them sitting around for the RS3, and the RS3, you know, is down for the VR6 swap. We're like, how can we make this work? So we mixed and matched, finally found an H&R set of adapters that actually fit the wheels, got it on the car, and again, 265s all the way around, 35, 18. These are 18 inches, not 19s.
Toyos.
And again, not that much fender poke. With the roll, it actually looks like it's pretty much flush versus what it looked like before.
I love flush.
But that sounds good stuff. And again, we're going to leave this episode here, pretty much.
Yeah, just some road tuning, some road logging, but we're getting there. I mean, you know, basically all you set up. I have your transmission in the car. Haven't got the chance to get up to highway speed.
So we're going to be at Shift Sector with Stav's car. It's going to be his first racing event with this B5, with the VR6 swap and the new turbo.
Technically, it's not really my first racing event, because if you ever catch me on the freeway, I've had many of those racing events.
Yeah, he races like moms. Oh, she looked at me really weird, and then he takes off on her, right?
She lost them.
So we got the car up and running. We get to do a log. So far, again, knock on wood, no leaks. Beyond excited for Stav to hit the half mile with this car. I don't want to say we have an expectation right now. There hasn't been a VR6 swap to go to the half mile, so you're going to be the first pretty much one up. And we're going to see what works, what doesn't. Again, we've never raced with these cars. We've been just developing these cars and putting them together and breaking them and hooning on the street, but actual racing
them and hooning on them and breaking them.
So our first racing event's going to come up, and I'm really excited that STAV'S 12 valve. And again, that wheel setup, Stav, looks really, really nice. The contract's really, really nice. Yeah. I like it.
So you're saying that these wheels look better on my car than your jalopy?
My CCWs look better on your car than my car too. I don't know, so unfair.
And just for an example, your carbon clutches were gonna work better on my car.
So how do you like the carbon clutches now? So
okay. So my other clutches, no knock on them, they work great, but they're very hard to engage and to drive on. These clutches are like driving an OEM car. What do you call it? It's like driving an OEM car. It literally engages like OEM.
So you like driving on the carbons?
I do like driving on the carbon.
All right, good. I like accepting money, so as soon as you're ready to send that payment over.
You do post-dated PayPal?
Yeah, I'll do post-dated PayPal. All right, guys, so we're going to close this episode off with here. We got the car up and going. Next episode for STAV'S update before the half mile is going to be maybe some hooning. No launching, as he's still running pretty much the stock driveline except for the DSS axles, still running the stock drive shaft, the rear diff, we haven't upgraded those. So again, this is going to be for the half mile, and again, beyond excited for STAV to kind of knock this out and kind of compete and see what this car can do. So without further ado, guys, this is Malaka Motorsports. I'm George.
I'm Stav.
And this is the end of STAV'S Prep Part 2. Part 3 is coming in the next week as he progresses and continues to tune with the new XONA rotor 105/69S. So really excited. Good luck, Stav.
Thank you.
Hopefully you're as fast as a 24 valve.
Oh, you mean, but it drives, so it's already faster than a 24 valve.
Later, guys. We love you. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.